Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Profits for Sanity podcast. I'm your host, Dominic Caminata, CEO of Grosso University and industry-leading sales trainer. Thank you all for taking time out of your busy day to watch the show. As I know, there are billions of other podcasts there you could be listening to and spending your time, and it's truly an honor for me to bring value into your life and, most importantly, your business. So my mission with this podcast is very simple. I want to provide owners and leaders just like you with priceless information and optimism and inspiration you can use to run a more profitable business. And remember, in the world of business, that volume is for vanity and profit is for
sanity.
Isn't that true, right? So with this in mind, I'm honored to be joined by a business owner that I have deep respect for, as this guy is truly the definition of perseverance and determination. Today, I'm joined by Mark Olsen, who's one of the leaders of Redo Cabinets by Crumweedy Home Pros in the Chicagoland area, and someone that's having a record-smashing year. So first, I just want to thank you so much for coming up here to Madison, Wisconsin in our studio.
I love it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. So kind of starting off, Mark, just give everyone a little bit of background about your journey in the home improvement industry, of course, in a family business, kind of your introduction to the industry, and essentially how we got here today.
Well, how much time do we have?
Yeah, we have all the time you need.
I'll try to keep it brief, but I grew up with a father who owned Crumweedy Roofing at the time. It's now a 71-year-old business, and it was basically hot tar roofing. And if anyone's been doing hot tar or still does, hopefully they don't, but has anyone experienced that, or shingle roof tear-offs or shingle roofing, it is excruciating, very rigorous work. And as a kid, I always saw my dad get up at 3:30, go to work, come home, and he reeked of tar and looked like he just came out of an ashtray. But that's how he put food on the table. I was one of seven, big family, and my dad ran a small roofing business. I was probably 6 on payroll, and he just kept it going. But at the same time, my dad never had the training of operating a business, growing a business, or he never really wanted to. The phone rang from Reputation, and they were able to sell it, being the lowest price contractor, because to him they had no overhead, and he was kind of the chuck in the truck, and that was okay. It worked for his model. So as I got older, my dad kept, in the summertime, taking me and my older brother Greg onto the roof every summer. And most people look forward to the summers in high school and junior high. I dreaded them. Yeah. Because I knew summertime was roofing time and wrestling practice or football. So you go roof all day, and you come home and you go right to practice. And that was my summer. It was exhausting, but my dad was slowly molding two young men to understand what the value of the dollar is, to work for everything you want. And he was very against college, so what do you think we did?
I think your dad was my dad, honestly. Sounds like a copy and paste. My dad owned a demolition company, so instead of putting roofs on, he was tearing them off. But I grew up with a sledgehammer in my hand, and I dreaded the summers in a similar way because I knew that was physical labor time, time to roll up my sleeves and get to work. And he said college was for people that basically wanted to postpone being adults, an excuse to postpone reality. And definitely not a believer in it.
Yeah, very, very. We have a lot of similarities. Yeah. I've noticed that.
Wrestlers,
bodybuilders, you name it.
Yeah. We both have amazing hair.
Amazing. Just kidding. But at the end of the day, my dad, meant well and he thought the roofing business was something that was there for us as we got older, and it was for him from his dad. And but me and Greg, we saw it the other way. We're like, we want nothing to do with this. This is not the way of living. Unemployment every winter. But anyways, we put ourselves through college, my brother and I. We paid for it 100%. We put ourselves through it. And when I graduated, it was right the recession hit. Mm-hmm. And you know how fun that was. Yep. Couldn't find a job. I was living in the basement with my dad's again, and he knocked on my door after months of trying to find a job and said, hey, pay you $20 to come roof. And $20 back in 2008 was a good month. Yeah.
$20 an hour, not $20 total.
Yeah, $20 an hour.
$20.
Yeah,
that's all you get.
$20. That's it. Yeah, I'll take it. So I went back on the roof, and we were doing big roofs, and we were doing a lot of work. But man, his roofs leaked every time it rained out. I was getting called by my dad. Put out this fire. Put out that fire. They just weren't training the installers how to do proper roofs, and the phones would ring. So I saw a lot of potential, and until we started looking at the books. My brother and I were like, why are we always on unemployment?
Yeah.
We're working so hard, but every winter we got to go on unemployment. The phones aren't ringing. We just didn't understand business. So we joined an organization that we flew out to, and basically it's a organization that helps educate contractors, P&Ls,
Yep.
marketing, process, procedures, and we put the last dollar on our credit card to take on that organization to help us flip this business because we were out of business. He just didn't know it.
Yeah.
And that was scary. So that was 2015, and ever since then we just kept grinding. We knew we want to grow. It's process, procedure, or what do they say? It's people, process, profit, and that's that constant chase we have right now. And throughout the years of struggle, and finding people like Dominic, Grosso, educating ourselves through industry, networking events, having a really close group of friends, things have turned around, and profits are coming in, and processes are in place, and we have the right people, and it just goes to show that no matter how hard it gets, tomorrow's another day, which my dad always says.
Yeah.
And you just keep moving, keep focused, have that burning desire, that worthy goal, and don't let anyone tell you differently. Just keep at it. And that's really what my brother and I did was, determination. And we're not done yet. We're still moving hard and still growing as I'm talking with you, Dominic, on next steps. But it doesn't end, and that's okay. I'm constantly hungry. I'm constantly want to keep moving. So
Yeah, they call it growing pains, right? So
Right.
as you continue to grow and realize success, it brings new challenges and obstacles that we got to prepare for and make sure we're getting our team mentally focused and geared up for that growth. Otherwise, it can cause a lot of problems, right?
Right.
So, and that actually was my next question. I was just going to ask, as owners that are watching this are going through bumps and bruises and really difficult times, and there's a lot of people that have uncertainty about the future. What are some things that you do personally to stay positive, to stay focused, to stay optimistic about the future, right? Because I think, regardless of who you are or what you're doing, you're going to perform proportionate to your mindset, right? So what are some things that you do or you invest in to stay focused and stay positive?
That's a great question. I think not a lot of people understand mindset, worthy goals, burning desire. I think as an owner or an industry leader is investing in those industry gurus who could help your mindset, because mindset is everything in this industry. Having that right coach for mindset, and I do know, and I can do a name drop.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Sean Foyer is a mindset coach in the industry. He's phenomenal. I've been with him since 2015. Educating you on mindset and worthy goal and your journey towards that worthy goal is very important as an entrepreneur or just a business owner. And creating your ritual. It's not just, this is my goal, and then you just forget about it. Is it in writing? What are you doing to work towards it? What is your ritual, your everyday ritual? Like every morning I get up, after I get ready, I do my gratitude book. Every day before I go to bed, I do my worthy goal. I handwrite it. I visualize it.
How many times has Dominic's name been written in your gratitude book?
Yeah.
Every morning, Dominic,
Right.
thankful.
Thankful.
No, I do, on the show, I will publicly say that, if you're looking for a mindset coach, Sean Foyer is a good friend of mine. I've known the guy, since I met you, shortly thereafter. We realized that we had common clients, our mutual clients. And I've seen him do amazing things with his clients. And, whether it's with Sean or anybody else, make sure that you have a mindset coach. But certainly I recommend working with Sean. And we've seen that the combination of the right process, the right systems in place, and the right mindset, that's where owners and leaders can truly thrive. Because let's just be honest, it's a nasty world out there. A lot of negativity, a lot of negative forces hammering us from all directions. If you don't have a network or a group of people or a mentor or some individual that can help you stay focused, it's going to be very difficult not to be SNIOPed, and I would say, being susceptible to the negative influences of other people. So I definitely agree to that wholeheartedly, and mindset's something that I spend a great deal of time focusing on, and it's what I attribute to much of my success in life, is just having that positive focus, gratitude attitude, not guarding against stinking thinking, and just trying to stay away from all the negative forces that are bombarding us and burying us alive right now.
Right.
It's like everywhere you go, everyone you talk to, whether it's family or even close friends, it's hard to find anybody that's uplifting and inspirational and motivational. A lot of people want to drop all their negative energy on top of you, and unfortunately, all that does is slow you down and bog you down.
Yeah.
Because, when you're a leader of a business like you are, and of course your team is going to emulate your behaviors, your actions, your feelings, your sense of emotion. It's actually how I define a leader. As a matter of fact, we define salespeople as agents of influence that can influence other people in the direction which they want them to go. I define a leader as an inspirational agent of influence that can navigate their team to a clearly defined destination. Now, I'm not going to be inspirational if I'm always negative and grenading on my team and basically leading on a power trip of authority, negative energy. So in order for me to be an effective leader, I need to be positive. I need to be focused. I need to have the right state of mind and be optimistic. And then my team will obviously feel that energy. They'll feel that sense of confidence in what they're doing. So very, very important stuff. So I just want you to share, what would you say is one of the bigger challenges in your business that you've had to overcome, whether it be early on or as of recently? What were some of the bigger challenges that you've had to overcome?
Well, COVID.
Yeah, COVID, yeah.
That was probably my biggest obstacle.
And that's when you guys were just getting into the cabinet business, right?
Yeah.
So you started a new business essentially. You guys start off the redo cabinets, and then immediately the world shuts down.
Yeah, COVID, what really was damaging, we were already on our path to a record-breaking year with roofing and windows and siding, and I had the team, I had everything, the infrastructure, sky was the limit. And when COVID came around, it literally put us in shambles. Yeah. And nothing was more degrading as listening to all these companies in the States and the networking, how much they're booming.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding when I say Chicago must have been that one bubble that was not. I don't know. And if anyone said they were booming, I think they're full of. I think they're full of shit. It was so bad. I mean, I was purging marketing dollars. We couldn't get into the house to sell in the house. My call center was doing everything in their power to get reps in the house. I launched the virtual presentation. I was trying to do it with my sales manager. It was an epic fail.
You as a leader of your business were literally rolling up your sleeves, getting in the trenches, and running virtual consultations, trying to crack the code on it.
Trying to crack the code on it. And, when you're spending, say, $100,000+ in marketing a month and you're not selling, you only got so many months until that thing starts to go boop, and then your bottom line starts to deteriorate. And there had to be a time where I was just like, we got to make a change. It just dawned on me that cabinets, you have to sell in the house. If someone wants their kitchen remodeled, guess what? I got to come and see your kitchen. And there was other things with roofing and windows, that in the Chicagoland market were very difficult to scale and sell. Lead costs were extremely expensive. Cabinet refacing was extremely difficult to make that decision as a company that we have a family-owned business for 70+ years doing roofing to now say we're doing this. So the resistance I got, the pushback from family members, the employees, it was strong. But my brother, who believed in me and supported it, he took the biggest risk.
So isn't that crazy? So you had literally your family, your employees, maybe some friends. Everyone's against you. The world's against you. It's shutting down. All these forces coming at once. But the relationship of you and your brother, and of course having a good mindset trainer to keep you, believing in what it is that you're doing, keeping you focused on your goals, and never giving up and persevering. I mean, that must be challenging. I mean,
it was.
You feel like you're alone in the world, and
you feel like you're alone. The one thing Sean taught me was don't worry about the how. How are we going to do this? Don't worry about the how. Focus on that goal of what you're trying to do, and everything will come into place. Greg was obviously very nervous, but being a salesperson, I was very good at preparing for my conversation with him to pitch it to him. But and again, it was very difficult launching a whole new product, especially refacing. I mean, it's one thing to do one-day baths, windows, roofing, siding. You can find subcontractors. You have all these roofing products, sales products. It was literally start from scratch that you know nothing about, and you got to learn the hard way by selling it and installing it the hard way and learning from your mistakes. It's not a product you could just pick up and do. It was extremely challenging, which is probably why not a lot of people are doing it. But and here we are today. But I've eaten a lot of crow on the way. Had some losses, but that just makes me stronger because again, I'm not I am concerned about the bottom line. Profits are extremely important, but where was that growth? If I had a loss this year, what growth did I see to the next year? What did I learn that's going to help me get to the next level? Now, I saw myself constantly at losses, some wins, but the growth I've had of the people I grew and the leadership I grew, the processes I grew, everything for that one aha moment that just explodes. And that's really what I'm witnessing now.
Yeah, so let's segue into that. Obviously, a lot of owners can relate to the bumps and bruises that you go through along the way. And I love the Rocky quote. It's not about how hard you're hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward, persevere. Now let's talk about successes, right? So as a business owner, what would you say is a really monumental success that you've had, whether it be in the past or recently, that surprised you, where it's finally everything seems to be kind of coming together? I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And now, the profits are really starting to stack up.
I guess because I'm so judgmental on everything, I try not. I have a hard time celebrating my own wins, because everything is, when you get to that goal, you're still not satisfied.
Yeah, exactly.
That's I'm working on it.
That's the way goals are, right? Because the way I like to explain it is, if you ever went on a vacation, right? So on your way to the vacation, it's exciting. You got a little bit of, energy and enthusiasm about what you're about to do. And then while you're vacationing, the journey of vacationing, experience that. It's a great time. But how much fun is it after the vacation's over and you're coming back home? You've accomplished the goal of going on vacation. You're like,
right.
Okay, well, what next? It's like,
right.
That's how any goal is. You hit a certain level of performance or you achieve a certain goal, then it's okay, what do I do next? And as you're experiencing, a lot of times when you achieve a certain goal or a certain level of success, it in some cases means more challenges are on the horizon, more questions need to be asked. You're going to have more things to learn along the way. Your team's got to grow, which is great, but it also means more responsibility. Hopefully not more babysitting if you hire the right people. But you've had some success as of recently where you had a forecasted goal for sales performance that you guys absolutely destroyed. But I guess leading up to all your growth and development since you first started, I guess, what do you feel really came together to make that possible?
I would say it's the people. We've always found ourselves paying a little bit of money and expecting the most out of certain people, where instead of, if you're trying to find leaders, paying them the proper amount of money and finding top talent and paying what they're worth, and then put them in the right process to have them thrive. So we've done a lot of restructuring in our company, finding the right people, getting the other people off the bus, paying them appropriately, and the processes like Grosso, call center process, production process. And at the end of the day, it's, have you done enough market research and marketing where you're now ready to make huge investments, knowing what you're going to get in return, knowing that your sales team is able, if I threw in 100 leads, what am I going to see in return? So I think it was kind of like that formula of everything was finally ready to pull the trigger. And the only way I knew to do that, it was from last year, is just saying, hey, if we hit this type of metrics, I'm going to invest a lot of money next year right off the get-go into marketing, because I now have faith in my sales team. I know we have the right leader, we have the right sales reps, and I do know production. We have the right leader, the right installers. So it was kind of like leading up to that. And so when I finally pulled the trigger on a huge investment, it brought in the leads, and then the sales followed right behind. And the best feeling ever, production's on fire. I love it when they're on fire.
That's right. Yeah, that's been a mission of yours for quite some time, is getting the sales department humming on all cylinders. So production now is in a position where they have to grow and scale and obviously bring in more quality talent.
Right, which brings a whole nother issue, because we've always kind of had a sales marketing, too many leads, not enough sales reps, too many sales reps, not enough leads. It was always that weird balance of what is going on, and production was always just maintained, and they were doing very good. I was very proud of them. But now when you dump a couple million in a month of sales on production, that's when you start seeing all the, oh, wow, yeah, we got to fix that, we got to fix this, we got to do this process. But that's where I'm at my best, is when things are really moving. That's when I can really turn on and figure out processes and procedures, because that's something I could really forecast is identify bottlenecks and how to fix it so they don't happen again, and how to streamline things. So
that's one thing I've admired about watching you over the last several years is how much time and effort and money that you've been willing to invest in your foundation for your business, whether it be for marketing, sales, technology, all the different processes and operations. You guys really took it to the next level. And I've said this publicly before, but it's worth mentioning. I think you and your company, between what you and your brother are putting together here, literally have one of the strongest foundations that I've ever seen. So when you have the right people coming in now as you're growing and scaling, for them to come into this foundation you built, I think it's going to continue to flourish, and it's gonna blow up for sure. So now a lot of people do have a negative outlook on 2024, the coming year. And a lot of people are pointing to this Harvard Joint Housing study where it talks about industry contraction. A lot of people are scared about inflation, all these things going on. So I guess, what could you share with our viewers to keep them optimistic about the coming year? Because, of course, we went through COVID. COVID was good or bad, depending on who you are. Now, a lot of people are scared about the future. So I guess, are you optimistic about the next year? What can you share with them to keep them optimistic and look at the opportunity that's in front of them if they're willing to make a couple changes, whether it be the process, technology integration? I guess, how can you keep our viewers positive about the coming years?
Well, I've been through some major tough times, COVID, selling roofing in Chicagoland, or windows up against a lot of the big companies. Mm-hmm. I guess I look at any problem coming up as far as the economy is just, there's nothing you could do. Mm-hmm. I mean, really, you just got to embrace it and make changes. But at the end of the day, you have that worthy goal, that burning desire, and you keep your blinders on. That's really what I'm good at doing. Mm-hmm. Turn your TV off. That would help. Surround yourself with the right mindset people to get through this, and the right people to network with. Because you got to understand market difference is that's one thing I've really understood too, is the United States is huge. It's a different market. It may be hitting it in this region, it may not in this region, So you got to be very careful who you talk to and what companies are experiencing, because you may have companies that are, and what product they're offering, what type of market strategy they have. Are they in a very rural area, or are they not? So just be careful of whose advice you're talking to. Really identify the company themselves and what they're giving you, and I would not fear anything, because that's one thing I've given up a lot, is that fear base. We've been fear mongered so hard through COVID, and it got to a lot of people, and I think using common sense is going to be the biggest thing that we always need to have that carry us forward in this industry, is common sense and the right people to talk to. And product offerings, look at what I did. I switched from roofing windows right to cabinets. I had to do a life-saving thing for the company. And don't feel like you're just dedicated to one product, because when shit hits the fan, you got to make changes that's best for the company and for your family. Mm-hmm. And I changed a company that was family-owned and operated, third generation, and completely changed the product for the family and the company. Yeah. So whenever those tough times happen, really dig deep, really meditate, really do your worthy goal, and I'll tell you what, you're going to wake up and something's going to tell you what to do.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer that life is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Regardless of what's going on in the world, your belief and your mindset and your attitude really determine anything. And I look at the future very optimistic, because I'm like, well, let's just say hypothetically inflation and rising interest rates continue to go up. Well, that means less people are going to be buying and selling their homes, which means they're going to be staying in their homes longer, which means they're going to probably have more desire to get that kitchen or a bath or a window job taken care of that they've been putting off for years and years. So then when the economy rebounds, if it ever does, then they'll be in a position where they've added a lot of value to their home. And ultimately, you can look at any situation and look at the negative press, but there's also a lot of positive forecasts and projections about our industry. Just in the next year, between now and 2025, is projected to grow by $50 billion, according to some stats. That's Statistica. You can go on it. But we're in an industry that's poised to do $650 billion in 2025. So who's making all that money? I can tell you who's going to make the money. People, first of all, with the right attitude and mindset, but people that are embracing training and technology, and the people that are not doing the same old thing, expecting different results, right? So you gotta be willing to grow and adapt with some of the coming times. But as we see this huge influx of private equity in our industry, all these companies getting acquired, there's literally billions and billions and billions of dollars being thrown at our industry in training and technology. So if I can give one piece of advice to all the viewers watching, of course, stay positive, stay optimistic, avoid, like I said, turn the TV off, all the negative forces. But also, you got to be willing to invest in the things that are necessary to be competitive today's day and age. And this one thing I admire, again, about what Mark's done is he's built that solid foundation for himself, for his team, for his company. So now they're in a position to really thrive and dominate the competition. It's not easy to invest the time to build it out. I mean, you literally spent the time, I'm going to master the sales process. I'm going to, build the online digital platform through Leap. And you've done a phenomenal job through that. And all the other things you've done with your processes and how you track your metrics and marketing strategies and all this stuff. So that's what we got to be willing to do as owners. Now, of course, this podcast is called Profits for Sanity, and the mission is to bring on bright-minded individuals and leaders that are having success, implementing certain things into their business, and the goal is to share some of those golden nuggets. So, of course, we a lot of times like to start with marketing because we're firm believers if you're out of leads, you're out of business. And we don't want you to give away all your secrets. But one question I did have is, what is working for you in terms of marketing? Is there a certain type of marketing you feel is working better than others? What didn't work for you? So let's just focus on that for a second. In terms of your marketing mix, what types of lead source would you recommend? Or if you could pick one to recommend to the viewers. Obviously, territory and demographics and all this thing matter, but for you personally, what do you feel surprised you or what's working for you currently?
Well, one thing I can tell you is what I've been doing in the past years is that fear of investing in the marketing, because some marketing wants lots of money up front.
Yeah.
And then you're just fear of what in return you're going to get. And then can your sales reps, do you have confidence in them selling it? And then you got to understand the different type of lead sources, right? The higher intent to the lower intent to the nebulous to the warm, and really got to figure out where's your niche in the market, because you have face-to-face marketing, you have online marketing, you have broadcast marketing. Where do you start? You got $50,000. Where do you start, right? One thing I do know that has been struggle in my area is lead aggregates these past few years.
It's not going to get any better either with a lot of the regulations.
Right. And what you've noticed how slimy they are, where, they're just sharing, and you're just getting duplicate lead sources from Angie Ads, Home Advisor, or Angie Leads, Craft Shack, Modernize, Porch. You realize all these duplicate names, and these consumers are really getting tossed around. You put your name out there, and all these people calling you, but when you're a smaller company, you're like, hey, it's a low lead, it's affordable if we could just hit on them and get out there. But getting out of that pool is the best feeling ever when you could only turn those on when you need it.
Yeah, I have some of my clients that use like 35 different lead aggregation sources, right, to generate leads, and it's just all over the place. It's a lot to manage, but
it's all over the place, and it depends on your average job size too. If your average ticket's $10,000 to $30,000, lead cost is a huge deal at the end of the day. The huge deal of how can you control your lead costs. So sometimes lead aggregates, people just thrive on them, but it's scaling your business to get to that point where you're able to cast a wider net. Mm-hmm. Get in front of the people. How do you surpass the aggregates or the online PPC where everyone's trying to bid on your page? So I'm a true believer right now. Where's your consumer? How old are they? Where do they live? And what are they on? Well, they're on social media. Yeah. The 55 and over. I mean, they're more on social media than the millennials our age. Well,
it's one thing that COVID did especially is it really got people to embrace technology. So people that maybe weren't in tune with their cell phone device or tablet or whatever, or didn't know how to use it, they kind of were forced to, because that's how they were communicating with their family, through things like social media, FaceTime, stuff like that. So now we're at an era where you're going to get definitely better results, especially with the older population. Even my dad knows how to use a smartphone. I never thought I'd see the day.
My dad still doesn't know how to listen to voicemail on his phone.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But social media, if you find the right company that knows how to leverage ads, now paid ads on social media. They're exclusive, they're powerful, and then the algorithms on Facebook, the way people, it could track you as a consumer and constantly feed you different content. Very powerful. However, it's very nebulous. It's almost like a face-to-face marketing type lead. It's you may have a little bit of higher cancellations or finance declines. So Facebook right now, ride that wave while it lasts, because Facebook's not going to last the way it is forever. I truly believe it's not. It's kind of like how PPC was back in the day, even though it does work for some people. Facebook would be a really good one. And face-to-face marketing. If you're not doing home shows, right, where people are going there to look for roofing, siding, windows, kitchens, you're missing out. But it's doing it the right way. And there's consultants out there that could train you how to do a proper booth, how to bring people in. But home shows and events, it's a huge business for us. When COVID hits, it's the ones that can make the leads, not wait for the leads to come in.
Yeah, you need to hunt for your leads, not farm for them.
Right. Making sure that you have a balance in your company of inbound and then ones that you have a team that's able to capture these leads,
So I think,
because then you have a nurture campaign with it. So.
We are pleased to announce our all-new Grosso University 60-Day Challenge. Our Sales Academy is quickly becoming the most turnkey and powerful way for companies all over the country to build top-performing sales talent, and we're ready to prove it to you. For the first time ever, we are inviting companies nationwide to enroll a salesperson and a sales leader into our next Sales Academy Masterclass absolutely free. Our team of legendary trainers will take them through our comprehensive 2-week sales training, where every student will be tested and certified as a sales warrior. After the live training event, every sales warrior will also receive a full 60-day trial access to all of our Sales Academy Masterclass services, which will give them access to our industry-leading online sales training platform, access to our live weekly sales meetings from our certified coaches, and one-on-one product-specific training and support to guarantee that every salesperson truly turns into a shining star in the industry. The best part is you can experience all of this training absolutely free with no obligation. Once you see the results for yourself, you understand why Grosso University is quickly becoming the #1 sales training program in the industry. Schedule a call today with one of our representatives and learn how Grosso University can easily become the sales training arm of your business and take your company to the next level.
I'm honored to announce that this November 14th and 15th, Grosso U will be hosting our 3rd annual Growth and Profitability Summit. Join us at the stunning Omni Resort and Spa in Amelia Island. You'll learn all about lead generation and conversion, leveraging the latest and greatest technologies, and the proven strategies for streamlining your operational efficiency. Network with industry leaders, forge valuable relationships, and return back to your business equipped to make 2025 a year of abundance and prosperity. Are you ready to build an apex level company? Reserve your seat at the Agogi Growth and Profitability Summit today and lead the future of the home improvement industry.
Being creative with the events you can attend, face-to-face marketing. So when I was at Mad City, we had 650 events slotted for 2020 before the pandemic hit and everything shut down. But we were everywhere. We were at rock concerts. We were at the Strawberry Fest. We were at all the fairs and festivals. We were in shopping malls, you name it. Anywhere where there's people congregating and gathering, we were there. And sometimes we would be able to get into these events for free because we'd bring value. Let's say we're at a car show and we have a booth set up. We would basically have where you can raffle off to win a free set of tires and wheels. So it's adding value to the event, and in exchange for that, they allow us to sponsor it for free. And then we get like 100 leads out of this thing for free. It's like, how much does that improve your marketing spend and your cost per issued lead? So being creative. I have some people, for example, that sell windows, and they go to a garden festival and they have garden window raffle. When fill out this form to have your chance to win a free garden window. Just creative things like that. And some of those are really good too because they're not as competitive. You may be the only home improvement company or home services company there representing. Now, one thing I loved at what you're doing though is you had the choice between hiring some paid actor to do a lot of your content, to be on video, or do it yourself. So I guess, why did you make the decision to do your own content, make your own videos, have your face be the face of your business? And how do you feel that maybe is helping your cause?
Well, on top of that marketing, I think when you get to that level of broadcast, whether it's radio or TV, is extremely powerful.
Yeah.
That's casting that right net. So once you have your Facebook, you have your home shows and events, and then you shower it in broadcast, now you're top of mind, becoming that, how would I say, the Home Depot of the area. Well, they're a no-brainer. You know, the home remodeler of the area, you know. Once you have that amount of money to invest, that's when things really start changing. Now, for me to put my face on the TV, on the commercials, it really, I'm not doing this because I'm boasting about people, you know, the people I work with, the consultants for TV and radio, they encourage it for owners to put your face out there because it's a more intimate thing with your viewers. They know you're not an actor. They know you're being authentic. And that's really what consumers want to see. They could smell a stage actor. They could smell something that's not.
All human beings have built-in bullshit detectors.
And knowing that, you know, and it was tough for me because being in front of a camera, you know, who does that every day? It was. I had to really.
That's an embarrassing amount of time in front of a camera.
But when you're not used to it, it's something that you just have to be vulnerable to do. You know, it's okay. And know that it's for the best. It's for the best of the company and to generate the quality of leads. You know, and I made that leap of faith, and right now we're seeing a lot of success. And I guess I haven't tested it yet, so I haven't put a stage actor compared to me doing it. But right now, being the spokesperson for the company has shown a lot of value and benefit. But again, when it comes to marketing, you can't just go into and start TV. You got to really work your way up to that because if you don't have a call center that's trained and knows how to handle and nurture leads and you don't have the right sales infrastructure, you know, you got to go on those baby steps to get to that point. And I really caution people on jumping right to a certain marketing campaign. But start with ones like Facebook and face-to-face marketing. If I had to start somewhere else, do it again, I'd start with those two.
And to support that, you know, I see a lot of business owners, a lot of contractors, a lot of leaders investing in content creation. So I see a lot of people that are pushing more content out into social media, on TV. I have some people that I network with that have their own radio talk show. I have some people I network with. These are companies, home improvement companies, they have their own podcast. So they want to basically condition their territory or their market. They're the trusted experts. They're the trusted advisors. It's almost like, you know, what was that show on TV with Bob Vila? This Old House. So it's like you become like the This Old House of your territory. But the more content you can push out there, the more they can get a sneak peek as to the key leaders in the company, behind the scenes of the inner workings of your business. They can see on TV or social media your crew's getting the job done. Every homeowner or prospect or decision maker, they're going to play a movie in their mind, hypothetically, of all the things that they're personally going to experience when they have you come out to their house and do this in-home estimate. So the more content we can push out there, the more they can see your face. And it could take 7, 8, 9, 100 commercials before they're, okay, I got to pick up the phone and see what these people are about because I'm seeing this guy everywhere. And they've already played this hypothetical motion picture in their mind of getting their kitchen done or their window project done. So I just think it's really impressive to see how you kind of jumped right into there and put your face out there and to see how it's impacting the results. And I think that content's also great for sharing in the in-home presentation. So this is the owner or, you know, leader in our company putting his face out there on the social media or on the television. And you've even done some interviews on the news and stuff like that recently, right?
Yeah. Put yourself out there. There's a lot of stuff to get your face out there. But onto the online content marketing, there's also companies in our industry that are very affordable and very good at. If you just send them raw footage off your phone, whether they're in the house talking on it or taking videos, you just send it to them, they'll beautify it. They'll put it together, they'll make the branding, and they'll launch it on your social media. I mean, there's companies out there for a very nominal cost that could do a lot of the legwork for you. You don't have to be an online guru. They just need the content.
A lot of people don't know this, but I got a pretty talented multimedia team. But we actually are morphing more into a content creation company than anything, and we actually edit the podcast and content for several companies over the country. Wow. So, but similar to what you're talking about, you know, whether it's through Grosso or any company, there's a lot of resources out there where you can send them a cell phone selfie video or something simple, And I know several business owners and entrepreneurs that I talk to where every now and then they just have a videographer come out to their facility or spend a few days with them. They go visit some job sites. They get some clips of their crews getting the work done. And that is priceless content that you can use for many, many years after.
Yeah, once a year, every year, if I put in a budget, I have this company come out and they do our content, and they do about 5 videos, whether each one's anywhere from 90 to 5 minutes, whether it's process, culture, something funny, and then they have 5 videos that they could cut up into little shorts that you could use for social media too. So again, for a nominal fee, if you find the right company, blast it all out in a day or two, you have a lot of content that's going to feed you for the next 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, I 100% agree. That's actually, when I consult with companies, it's amazing how little content companies do have, whether it be for marketing or your in-home presentation or to put on your website. So one piece of advice I can give everybody, obviously technology is important, training is important, but invest in content. The more content you can push out there, we are consumers of content this day and age. How much time do you personally spend on your phone looking at content from other people, right? Make sure you're front and center, and there's all kinds of ways you can strategize with geo-targeting and different marketing strategies where you're literally on people's devices in their house, but at least get the content created as step one. So now I want to segue over to my favorite topic, which of course is sales. And a lot of companies that I see that are out there, they try to kind of grow and scale a sales army without having the foundation in place. So what do you feel has helped you with your sales foundation? What are some of the pillars you put in place, whether it be through your leadership, your technology, your process, and how do you feel it's now all coming together to bring you results?
Well, there's a lot of important pillars for sales. That's for sure. A whole sales support system. Obviously, a call center is going to be a large support system.
And I just want to piggyback on that. In order to have a high-performance sales team that's held accountable, it's vital that you have a very professional and organized and properly trained call center. So the call center is almost like lane assist for your sales team. They keep them on track, they hold them accountable, and they're there obviously for a lot of the communication elements of it. But I don't want to make accusations, but a lot of sales teams, the salespeople turn to lead babies. They start making excuses. They refuse to take responsibility. And the right call center that's properly trained can nip that in the butt right away and keep your salespeople accountable for their performance. So it's absolutely vital.
Yeah, I would say a call center, a supportive call center is extremely vital to the sales support system. The right sales system, the Grosso University sales system, making sure everyone's on the same system. Everyone on the team has gone through the proper training for it. Then you're going to need the right sales leader. Accountability would be the number one thing of a sales leader is can they hold their reps accountable? Yeah. But making sure it's the line in the sand of the process of the sales reps, demo rate, close rate, NSLI, you name it, making sure that they understand the fine line of the requirements for the position, because at the end of the day, marketing is a huge cost, and we're giving a lot of tools to these sales reps to be successful, and you'd be amazed how many of them will learn the system and then they go off on their own track, and then next they point the fingers at you that it's not them. It's
it doesn't take long.
It doesn't take long. So, and on top of that, what software are you giving these sales reps to be successful? We're a big believer in Leap. I use Leap for our production side.
How many years have you been using Leap?
I think I've been with Leap, I want to say since 2017, right when they were very new. So about 7 years.
Yeah.
I have a very robust Leap. I think it's wonderful. Leap takes a long time of dedication to get it up and running. Mm-hmm. It really does. But when it's done, I can't. I've onboarded actually some friends of mine, helped them out get kicked off on the right foot with Leap. And to this day, they're like, it has changed the dynamics of their company, making everything streamlined, paperless.
Well, and how much more professional is that, right? You go into a house, you're not writing a quote on the back of a napkin or a business card. Your salespeople are going in there armed with a really masterful dashboard platform, masterful presentation, all housed on this digital platform. It's what people expect nowadays, let's be honest. You go to the drive-thru and buy coffee, for God's sakes, you're ordering off of an iPad or some sort of piece of technology. So I think for you, I mean, to spend the time right away, I mean, this is what, I keep going back to your foundation and what I admire about what you've done, because not a lot of owners and leaders are willing to put in that perspiration, blood, sweat, and tears, sleepless nights to build these things out. And I don't think it's a path of least resistance. I think some of these things could be the path of resistance initially, but once you have it built, oh my God, what it can do for your business, unlimited growth potential now.
There's still companies that are over 20 million still doing paper contracts. 60 million paper contracts.
I know companies doing hundreds of millions on paper contracts.
I mean, to think about doing that, I mean,
well, the inefficiencies.
There's a cost to Leap. Sure, every rep has a cost to it, but you're able to eliminate so many user errors from a sales rep on paper contracts.
Selling things off the
menu. Making changes on the terms and conditions. I can make changes on the fly on Leap, and it goes on every iPad immediately like that. I just updated our terms and conditions yesterday and updated it like that.
Or if you need to up your price a smidge or whatever, boom.
I up my price whenever I have to. It is full control, and also requirements and firewalls. If I see a pattern of reps keep doing one thing, I could create firewalls in Leap where they can never make the mistake again because it's been corrected in Leap. So it really kind of helps lane assist your sales team as well. And then for production, if they give you feedback on restrictions of your product, or we got to change this, we got to change that, it's just boom, 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 it's done. And then I've utilized Leap so much where now, your measure techs, people that measure your windows or roofs, when they go out and measure the project, they don't leave that house until everything's resulted and sent on Leap, as in there's no paperwork. They do it all on Leap. It goes right into your CRM, right to the purchaser, whoever you have it. The paper folders, to me, I look at it as, hey, this is 2024.
Yeah.
We can make this streamlined and more efficient. It's just training. At our size, we're now in the training industry. How do you constantly training everyone better process and procedures? Right. I mean, like deposit checks. Who are taking checks anymore? You got ACH capture on everything.
Yep.
I was
just talking to a company recently. They're finally getting everything digital, and they're just in their mind imagining all the efficiencies because they've gone through all the headaches of can't get the salespeople to turn in paperwork. I mean, salespeople holding on to paperwork for weeks. It's like, what are you doing? Like, come on.
Right.
So now this is all instantaneous. It's immediately. Obviously, the integration with your CRM. And you guys do Engage, right?
Yeah, we
so
use
for your
Engage as
in-home
well.
master presentations.
Yep.
So, of course, I'm a big proponent of Engage. I always say the best close in the world is a master presentation, and the best platform or software to deliver that master presentation is Engage. And it's interesting to see how all these technologies are integrating together, and they're creating like this ultimate tech stack. So you're crushing sales goals, and you actually, in your first month of this year, you had a certain forecasted goal, and then I don't know, you did like 2 or 3x that goal.
Four times.
4 times that goal. So, which is exciting, right? But that also can bring challenges, right? Because now it's how the hell do we install all this product? And one of the quickest ways to demoralize and crush the hopes and dreams of a sales team is when they're doing their part, and then it takes 6-8 months to a year for their products to get installed, and they're dealing with all these pissed off customers and all this stuff. So as marketing is humming along, you're getting leads, your salespeople are converting on those leads. What are some of the steps you're taking now to ensure that the production is going to deliver and get those properly installed in a timely manner?
Yeah, we've entered an interesting month where we've never expected such a success, and it's brought in new complications as far as your backlog, and I'm fine with that. Customers will wait.
Yep.
They will wait.
As long as you're upfront and honest about it.
As long as you're upfront and honest with it. And in my production, they're on page with what we're trying to do. They see it, and then they're in live action right now. They understand that, we got to hire X amount of installers every month, and when they're in training, when they get released, how we get our measure techs. We have weekly meetings every Wednesday, and we go over the prior week meeting, and we really scale it. We really forecast what this looks like, because now you have it. You have the backlog. You know how long it takes the material to get in. You know how long it takes for a measure tech to get it done. Now it's scalable, right? And you can move a lot faster, putting the right people in the right place and create training. That's not the problem. We're going to get caught up, and I know exactly how we're going to do that. But then you're right. You got sales reps that are used to getting their back end pay within a reasonable time, but now you put fire on it. It's going to be it's going to take some time. But
and that's also like, make sure you're communicating the right expectations to your sales team, right?
Right.
Because it's not out of the question for them to understand, like, when production has 4 times the amount of expected sales and installs, it may take a little longer for you to get paid,
Right.
but you have to make sure you have that constant stream of communication with your team where everyone understands what's going on, what the challenges are. It's important for everyone on your team to truly understand the nature of your business, where a lead comes from, how a lead gets installed, because salespeople can take that for granted sometimes, right?
All the time.
All the time. One strategy I had, I would commonly bring my production staff in for sales meetings to communicate what's going on, the challenges they're facing, the challenges of growing and scaling installers and stuff. But we always had a production segment of our sales meetings, and also a call center segment where everyone's able to share ideas and communicate, or maybe blow out the lines a little bit if there's something bothering them. Let's talk about it now. Let's get it off our chest, because we want to make sure the relationship between all of our departments is solid, is strong, because it's one big team.
It's one big team.
It's not sales versus marketing, marketing versus sales, production versus anyone. You got to have everyone playing together.
Because that does happen where they start to feel like they're against each other. And that's why it's important to have your leaders to always, stop that from happening.
right.
Because production wants to produce. They want to get installed. They love seeing the sales. I have my production team on our group me for the sales. They root the reps on. It is a team thing, right? Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's educating your sales reps. Do you know how many people in the company touch that contract till the day we get collected? They see it as I got the lead, I went to the house, I sold it, and I send it. If you paint that picture of like who calls it the next day, when does it take for the next hands? When does the measure tech? What does the measure tech do? What does it hand off? Who does it go to next? How do you order it? How many times? And then you think about where the product's ordered and the freight that has to come all the way. If you really paint that picture of like the timeline on how important it is for a sales rep to do your paperwork properly.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do that properly, you just created a wave of problems in the back end, and no sales rep likes getting those calls or emails. But that's where the leap comes into play, make things so clean, but still it's production is a bear, and you got to create a really strong production support system. And production needs to understand too, we're a sales and marketing company.
Yeah, that's right.
We're a sales and marketing company, or I like to say we're a marketing sales company, because without
I actually look at marketing as not a department at all, because your whole company is marketing. Like, you obviously have marketing, but then sales. Every conversation they have is marketing. Everything the crews do is marketing. Everything you put out there, everything is marketing. Marketing is like your company, and then you have different departments underneath marketing, like your sales and production. But yeah, I agree. Marketing comes first, and then you obviously need quality, skilled, properly trained sales professionals to capitalize on those. Right. And then you need a well-oiled machine on the back end to deliver. I've had that situation personally where I get sent to a company, a sales team, to get them all fired up and enthusiastic about closing more sales and all this stuff. And they have 8-month backlog on sales. They're like, Dominic, our company can't keep up with the sales we already have. Like, what's our motivation to sell more? So it's really important that you invest in those things. And, Grosso University, just so you guys know, obviously I have a big network of successful entrepreneurs I communicate with so I can share ideas, but I also have a network of trainers and consultants that we partner up with that regardless of what stage of growth you're in, they can kind of take you by the hand and show you how to scale production, how to streamline your operations, how to be more efficient in terms of how you run your business. So all the pillars of your business need to work together. And this is kind of what I'm hearing with Mark here is they've really spent a lot of time making sure that everyone's cheering each other on, everyone's working together, you have the right culture. So when you're trying to build a culture, it can't be just the culture of my sales team, the culture of this, culture of that. It's your whole company culture needs to be firing all cylinders, making sure it meets with your core values of your business, right? Do you have a set of core values? Do you have a mission and vision statement? Do you truly believe it? Is that the filter that you use to bring anybody into your organization? Are they going to plug into your organization and be a good fit? I actually talk about this. One of my clients that I consult with, the last 2 years in a row, they had to fire their number one salesperson because the best way to lose good employees is tolerate a bad one, right? So even though he performed good, he was toxic for the organization. So now there's a running joke in the organization. Nobody wants to be the number one salesperson because they're afraid they're going to get fired. That's my basically foot out the door, right? So, but it's important that you cherish your culture, that you hire the right people, that you make sure everyone is working together to achieve a common goal. And that's what leadership's all about. And that's what you're realizing now that you've built in your organization, being the leader in your organization. You have figured out a way to have all these departments kind of humming along to achieve a common goal. And it all starts with you, right? We always say the fish stinks from the head down. You and your brother obviously went through a lot of bumps and bruises along the way. But you continue to persevere, you invested the time, put in the effort, and blood, sweat, and tears to build out this foundation, and now you're realizing the fruits of your labor. And it's really exciting for me to watch, and for us to have any part of that. Obviously, it brings joy to my life too, to see that success, to be able to bring more value as time goes on. So just to kind of wrap up this wonderful podcast, and again, thank you for sharing this information. I'm not paying him to be here. He's doing this out of the kindness of his heart, so donating his time. But if we were to just kind of wrap up what we just discussed, the summary of marketing, sales, production, operations as a business, I guess, how would you summarize the formula for running a successful and profitable business? Just in a nutshell, kind of tying it all together.
I would say one thing that me and my brother do that is very important to keep that profitability that we adopted last year was every month, you sit down and you go over your P&Ls. And you literally, every month, every year you build a business plan and you put into place from historic data. If you have a pro forma, plug in your numbers. Now, the business plan can change, quarterly. If you see like what we're going through,
Raise the bar.
We're going to have to change our plan here at the end, going into April. Put the plan together and work towards that plan. And then every month, hold yourself accountable to punch in your numbers on the P&L. And where are you from the plan? Were there hires that you need to make or that didn't make? You got to keep your eye on the bottom line. Like you have to.
I'm glad you said that, because I'll talk to owners. We're halfway through the year, and I asked some of those questions. How's your profitability shaping up thus far year to date? And they have no idea, like where their numbers are. They don't know if they're profitable or not. They're like, I think we're somewhere in this ballpark, right? But no idea.
You owe it to yourself as a company and the owner to do that meeting once a month outside of the business. Do not do it in the offices or distractions. If you have a partner, you go somewhere together and you look at these numbers granular, because that is your livelihood, and that's the how would I say, the thermometer of how you're doing. Yeah. And if before you know it, because if you're 6 months down the road, you look at it, well, I didn't know. It's like you really need to look at that a lot tighter and a lot closer. And then also,
and it does allow you to pivot and be more flexible with your business plan too, like knowing where I'm at.
Right.
Can we be more aggressive? Should we pull it back a little bit?
Right.
It allows you to make strategical pivots and moves.
Knowing your gross profit margin. Where do you need to be to hit that bottom line? That is just, to me, profitability. If you want to, scale your business, you got to look at it monthly. Set that plan and follow the plan. It's hard. I get it. You want to keep changing. Hire this person. Buy that truck. Do this. But you really gotta have accountability on yourself to stay true to your numbers. So.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, really great advice. I just want to thank you for being on the show. Yeah. Obviously, it's an honor to have you there, and congrats on all your success.
Thank you.
And I want to thank all of you for watching this episode of the Profits for Sanity podcast. And never forget, in the world of business, volume is for vanity and
profits for sanity.
Woo! Have a fantastic day. Thank you for watching.